met de balbezit voor Frank de Boer. Frank de Boer speelt de bal heel goed naar Dennis Bergkamp. Dennis Bergkamp neemt de bal aan. Dennis Bergkamp! Dennis Bergkamp! Dennis Bergkamp! Dennis Bergkamp! Dennis Bergkamp! Oh! Frank de Boer speelt de bal aan Dennis Bergkamp. Die neemt de bal feilloos aan. En die schiet de bal erin.
Manchester United have done all they can. That Rooney goal was enough for the 3 points. Manchester City are still alive here. Balotelli, Aguero! I swear you'll never see anything like this ever again. So watch it.
Hello and welcome back to Joy Eats Football, जहाँ पे we will be talking about all things football. ये एपिसोड शुरू करने से पहले एक अनाउंसमेंट है which I want to make is that going forward from the next episode we will be focusing on Arsenal and stuff related to Arsenal only. This decision we have made solely because of one reason and one reason only, that is we feel like we won't do justice while representing those other teams. इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि हम वो बाकी टीमों के बारे में बात नहीं करेंगे. We will be talking about those other teams but from an Arsenal perspective. So not further delaying this episode, let's start off with the match report. This was the match week 24th in the English Premier League. और जो टॉप 6 हैं उनमें से सबसे पहले हम बात करना चाहते हैं आर्सेनल वर्सेस कार्डिफ की. सो आर्सेनल वर्सेस कार्डिफ का रिजल्ट था 2-1 फॉर द आर्सेनल, जहाँ पे द टीम पेड अ ट्रिब्यूट टू द मिसिंग स्ट्राइकर एमिलियानो साला. Cardiff contained Arsenal's attack very well up until the 66th minute. और डिफेंसिवली कार्डिफ वर लुकिंग वेरी सॉलिड और ऐसा लग नहीं रहा था देख के कि आर्सेनल वुड बी एबल टू ब्रेक देम. लेकिन 66 मिनट में मांगा ब्रॉट डाउन कोलासिनाच इन द कार्डिफ बॉक्स एंड द पेनल्टी वाज गिवन. Aubameyang stepped up for the penalty and scored in the 66th minute. And the second goal for Arsenal was scored by Lacazette, which was a beautiful dribble. He dribbled past 2 or 3 players and took a shot from inside the box. And the third goal, which was the first goal for Cardiff, was scored by Nathaniel Mendes in the 93rd minute. It wasn't the most dominant display from Arsenal, but as it turns out to be, it was an extremely important 3 points for them. Next match जो था it was between Manchester United and Burnley, जहाँ पे United were coming off a 8-match winning streak. And Burnley is the team which have been out of form this season. But it was a shocking turn of events when Burnley took a 2-goal lead, जिसमें गोल स्कोरर थे Ashley Barnes और Chris Wood, who scored on 51st minute and 81st minute. यहाँ पे ऐसा नहीं था कि United weren't dominant enough. They were very much dominant. They had more shots, they had more possession, but thing was they weren't clinical enough. And Burnley had 2 shots on target and they scored from both. और ऐसा लग रहा था कि मैनचेस्टर यूनाइटेड माइट फेस द फर्स्ट डिफीट अंडर OSG, बट बर्नली गॉट complacent और Henrik made a foul on Jesse Lingard in their own box, which led to a penalty which was scored by Paul Pogba in the 87th minute. It gave Manchester United the chance to come back into the game, and later on in the 92nd minute, Victor Lindelof scored for Manchester United. And that goal saved Manchester United's unbeaten streak and they moved on to 9-match unbeaten. The final score of the match was Manchester United 2, Burnley 2. So the next match was between Newcastle United and Manchester City. यहाँ पे starting में ऐसा लग रहा था कि Manchester City will run away with the victory when Aguero scored for Manchester City under 32nd of the first half. But Rondon scored a header for Newcastle in the 66th minute to give Newcastle the equalizer, and later on Matt Ritchie scored a penalty which was given away by Fernandinho in the 80th minute, and the final score was Newcastle 2, Manchester City 1. It was a heavy defeat for Manchester City, who were looking to close the gap on Liverpool. This result meant that Liverpool had the chance to extend their lead at the top by 7 points. So let's move on to the next match where Bournemouth humiliated Chelsea. Bournemouth scored 4 past Chelsea. It was the heaviest defeat Chelsea have faced since 1996. It was 23 years ago. It was a match where Bournemouth scored 4 past Chelsea and at the same time they were able to keep a clean sheet against them. The contributor in Chelsea's humiliation were David Brooks, Charlie Daniels and Joshua King, who scored a brace. And not to overanalyze or anything, but it was a heavy defeat for Chelsea and a worrying time ahead. So let's jump to the next match, which was between Liverpool and Leicester. Liverpool had the chance to extend their lead at the top by 7 points, but they bottled it when they drew the match against Leicester, and the final score was 1-1, where the goal scorer for Liverpool was Mane and the goal scorer for Leicester was Harry Maguire. It looked like a perfect start to extend their lead at the top by 7 points when Mane scored in the 3rd minute. But later on, Harry Maguire stunned Liverpool in the first half injury time. The draw meant that Liverpool missed the opportunity to move 7 points ahead of City. So ये तो हुई top 6 के match report. Now let's look at the table. So जो first पे है, it still remains Liverpool with 61 points. Second पे है Manchester City with 56 points. If they had won their match, they would have been on 59 points. और जो पॉइंट डिफरेंस होता सिटी और लिवरपूल के बीच में वो सिर्फ रहता 2 पॉइंट का. बट एज थिंग्स स्टैंड्स द पॉइंट डिफरेंस इज ऑफ 5 पॉइंट्स बिटवीन सिटी एंड लिवरपूल. थर्ड प्लेस पे रिमेन्स टॉटनहम जो कि है 54 पॉइंट्स पे, एंड क्लाइंबिंग अप टू फोर्थ प्लेस इज आर्सेनल हु इज ऑन 47 पॉइंट. चेल्सी भी 47 पॉइंट्स पे है, बट दे आर ऑन 5th बिकॉज ऑफ गोल डिफरेंस. यहाँ पे आर्सेनल हैव स्कोर्ड 50 गोल्स एंड कंसीडर्ड 33, और चेल्सी दे हैव स्कोर्ड 40 goals and conceded 23. 6th पे remains Manchester United, जिनके पास opportunity थी कि चेल्सी को वो ग्लाइम कर सकें, लेकिन they drew against Burnley, so their points tally is of 45 points. Now let's look at the relegation battle. और 18th position पे है Cardiff City, who lost their match against Arsenal. 19th position पे है Fulham with 17 points. They had a miraculous win against Brighton. और 20th position पे है Huddersfield with 11 points. They haven't gained a single point in their last match, which they lost. और ये तो हुई standing, and कल था transfer deadline day. So let's first look at Arsenal, and Arsenal have finally landed Suarez after a month-long negotiation. Denis Suarez joins Arsenal from Barcelona for the rest of the season on loan, and Arsenal do have the option to purchase in the summer. Next up were Newcastle, who signed 2 players. First was Antonio Barreca, the 23-year-old Italian left-back who joined from Monaco for the rest of the season on loan. And Newcastle United have finally broken their 14-year-old transfer record. They have signed Miguel Almiron from the MLS side Atlanta United for £21 million. In Miguel Almiron, Newcastle United have signed a highly rated attacking midfielder from Paraguay. Next up is Leicester, जिन्होंने sign किया है highly rated Yuri Talisman from Monaco on loan, and in return, Leicester have loaned out Adrien Silva to Monaco for the rest of the season. Next up is Michy Batshuayi. So it is a very interesting story क्योंकि Michy Batshuayi was on loan at Valencia, but in January, Valencia cut his loan short and sent him back to Chelsea. Chelsea were looking to offload him on loan, and they offered him to Spurs, Everton and Real Betis, but all of them refused to sign the player. Finally, a late deal saw the 25-year-old Belgian striker join Crystal Palace till the end of the season. And finally, Lazar Markovic was able to leave Liverpool. Rather, Liverpool got rid of Lazar Markovic by making him free agent so that he could join Fulham for free. And finally, some news about Manchester United, who didn't sign the player but had a news equivalent of that. Anthony Martial agreed a 5.5-year contract extension with United, keeping him there until 2024. And as we all know by now, Higuain has joined Chelsea from Juventus on loan till the end of the season. Higuain ने अभी तक 2 मैच खेले हैं चेल्सी के लिए, and he still haven't scored a goal for them. और it rings alarm bell for Chelsea as he was not able to take a single shot in his first 45 minutes in the Premier League. Sarri said that Higuain is not fit at the moment and he will need time to adjust to the Premier League. पर कितना time? They're only left 3 months of football, and Higuain is only there till the end of the season as he is on loan. But that will happen in the second part of the show when we will have Prateek with us. So stay tuned. So welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the second part of the show, which we will host with Prateek. And this segment is called Prateek Says. So, as we were talking about Chelsea and Sarri, question was, is Sarri the right man for the job, or have Chelsea played a gamble on Sarri? इसका एक premises दे देता हूँ.
It's an interesting question.
Definitely it is an interesting question and there is some reasoning behind it. So अगर हम Chelsea के पास managers को देखें, they have a glorified past. If we look at Mourinho or Conte, they both have so many silverware. And when we look at Sarri's record, his biggest achievement till date is finishing runner-ups with Napoli. और इसके अलावा he has no major silverware. And majority of his career, he has managed teams in 2nd division to 5th division. So thus the question, have Chelsea played a gamble by appointing Sarri? What's your opinion, Prateek?
First of all, personally, I don't believe that you should form an opinion on somebody just for someone who has just had 6 months into his tenure in the Premier League, and especially in a club like Chelsea.
But is it a opinion? Because it is a fact that he has not won a major silverware anywhere.
It is a fact, no doubt about that. Sarri, you can say, was a late bloomer. He came into the managerial world as late because, as you know, and probably all our listeners know, that he was a banker at first. So he got involved into the football thing probably a bit. So he, like you said, he managed the team from Division 2nd to Division 5 in Italy.
Yes.
And I agree with you that he didn't won anything with Napoli. His best finish was 2nd in his final 2 seasons. He made Napoli finish behind Juventus. But here in Chelsea, the situation is different.
Yes, definitely.
Though the owner of Napoli, De Laurentiis, was a difficult person to work with.
Definitely.
But at least he gave Sarri one go. Make sure you perform. So he performed. They were close in the 2nd season, in the 3rd season, his final season, I guess. They maybe lost the title by around 5 to 7 points, if I remember correctly. But yet in Chelsea, the situation is different because, like you say, though Chelsea has a history of many managers who have a glorified past in terms of trophies, in terms of winning, they have sacked 9 permanent managers since Roman Abramovich came. So obviously, when Sarri was appointed the Chelsea manager last year, so even Chelsea fans' opinions were divided. Some wanted Conte to stay on, and some were excited that we will see Sarri ball at Chelsea.
Yes.
Because in the past years, like you take Jose Mourinho, you take Carlo Ancelotti, you take Antonio Conte. I will say Chelsea's playing style was like how can I pronounce that? They enjoyed by nullifying the attacking teams.
Definitely.
For example, Arsene Wenger's Arsenal and Pep Guardiola's, I will not say Manchester City because he came
his Barcelona side.
Barcelona side, yes. Like, for example, you take Jose Mourinho. His pass the burst tactic was at its peak when his Inter side beat Barca in the Champions League semi-final. And the most surprising thing is he won it by just 11% possession in both the legs.
Impressive.
If I remember, yeah. So, and the thing is, when Mourinho arrived at Chelsea for the first time, so undoubtedly justified his tag as the special one. He bragged it. He won two leagues in his first 2 seasons, no doubt about that. Now the times have changed. And you can't always play a team defensively for long. And the thing is, after that in the Premier League, the first 7 matches, Chelsea was rolling on. Everybody was, the fans was excited, the hierarchy was excited, like Sarri ball is paying off and all. But yes, like you said, Chelsea is a big club. Napoli was different, Chelsea was big. Roman Abramovich is ambitious. So your question, yes, I admit that though Sarri is a gamble for Chelsea, but to say him a failure at this stage is not true.
So what will you say? Is Sarri a gamble?
Sarri a gamble, but I also say that the fans of Chelsea and hopefully the hierarchy should have patience.
Definitely, and we don't know what is going on behind the scene, what was the process in appointing him. And as I was saying, what my opinion on him would be, when I remember his Napoli side, they had pace, and when Higuain left, they played the false nine with the Dries Mertens. Their main tactic was to target the full backs and the center backs in Serie A. And ये part बहुत important है यहाँ पे इसलिए क्योंकि Serie की जो defenders हैं, the average age is 31 there. Fullbacks to center back and they don't have pace. जो सारी ball था वहाँ पे जो target करता था, it was pace. He used to move his players so fast in the final third of his opponent's box. The opponents were not able to handle that pace. But Premier League is a whole different ball game, and if he is trying that tactics here, उसका result हमको पता चल रहा है, it is not working. ये बात सही है कि they were on a high, पर every team have that period जहाँ पे वो they rack up wins. Like look at Chelsea, they had that. Arsenal went 22 games unbeaten. United are 8 or 9 games undefeated. So that is a period. But why I question Sarri is because जब वो Chelsea आया है, he has been seen as rigid. He has not. Yes, he is not playing according to his player. He is forcing them to change position. Look at Kante. He won Leicester the league. Or he is being played out of position as a right center midfielder. And that is not working. Whatever it is, the first thing why I was questioning him is because of his rigid mentality. ये जो question था, is Sarri a gamble? I agree with it, but is Sarri the right man? इसके लिए एक particular answer select नहीं कर सकते. Yes or no as well.
Very much debatable.
Yes, because on one hand, Sarri is rigid. On the other hand, we also have to remember how many managers have the players gotten. They are prima donna.
एक और चीज है कि चेल्सी ने क्यों अपॉइंट किया वो भी देखने की बात है सारी को, क्योंकि अपने सच तो वो डिफेंस माइंडेड मैनेजर्स ही अपॉइंट करते हैं.
बिल्कुल. What was their planning?
Yes, to be honest, there is a problem at all the levels in Chelsea, right?
Yes.
So
there were some complications behind the scenes. Even there was some rumor that the owner want to sell the club क्योंकि he didn't get the UK visa. There's some political issue between UK and Russia, so that is going on as well.
it's a tough time for Chelsea now,
Yeah,
right now.
definitely.
It reminds me of the time while Arsenal were moving to when Arsenal moved to Emirates, but Arsenal managed it effectively somehow.
Yes.
They had the amount of players he managed to qualify for the Champions
Yeah,
League.
that was a whole different structure, a whole different mentality, and a whole different way of running a football club. So
If Chelsea, I believe if Chelsea has that thing in mind, all the off-field issues and transition, and they are definitely going on in a transitional phase, no doubt
definitely.
about that. So they should be patient with Sarri, even if he don't win them trophy for 2 running seasons. Because the long-term solution is right now needed for Chelsea, because this team has been damaged a lot due to the constant sacking of managers.
Definitely. And we have been talking a lot on Chelsea, so let's move on to Arsenal. So Arsenal have been knocked out of the FA Cup and Carabao Cup. They are in the Premier League and the Europa League, which is a good thing for them because they have sustained 3 long-term injuries. One of them is Rob Holding, another one is Danny Welbeck, and lastly, their latest addition is Hector Bellerin, who is out for 9 months. और यहाँ पे क्वेश्चन है, yes, Arsenal have covers for centre back as well as wing, पर Arsenal didn't have a cover for Hector Bellerin. They signed Lichtsteiner. He is not at all performing up to par. He is not up to level in the Premier League. He's like a ghost of a right back. And other than that, Arsenal don't have a proper right back. Here is the question. Arsenal's target is to qualify for Champions League. They can do it via the Premier League or via Europa League. But to go that far, they need a right back. They need a right back. So who do you think should be Arsenal's first choice right back? And इतना लंबा जाने का सोचते ही नहीं है. The next match is a litmus test for them. Arsenal are playing Manchester City at the Etihad. So who do you think should be the right back for Arsenal for that match? The 3 options Arsenal have right now are Ainsley Maitland-Niles, who is basically a centre mid, but he can play at right back or left back. The other is Lichtsteiner, and lastly, it's Carl Jenkinson.
First of all, let's assess the three options.
Hmm.
So, Carl Jenkinson should not play, obviously, because he hasn't played for 5 years.
But I forgot to mention this important thing. Okay, this season, Carl Jenkinson have played for Arsenal in the Carabao and the Europa League, and he has not put a foot wrong. So that is a thing for consideration. Why I considered him against these two options.
Well, only first of all, only Emery knows which player he is gonna play at the right back. But I believe if Maitland-Niles get fit, because I guess his condition is being assessed right now. If I am correct.
Yes.
I
Let's assume he's fit. So who would be your first choice right back and why?
Ainsley Maitland-Niles without any doubt, because
Okay.
in the matches I have seen where he played, he I guess his playing style is to an extent like Hector Bellerin.
Similar to Hector Bellerin. Yes.
His pace, and he can also deliver nice crosses also, if I am correct.
Yes.
And his work rate is also good, impressive, and he has impressed Unai Emery. If I believe, he has impressed Unai Emery very much.
Okay. So
And
you're.
he has taken the advantage of his opportunity very well.
Good point. So you will pick Ainsley Maitland-Niles, and here's my observation. I am an Arsenal fan. I am heavily invested in this, so I watch every minute of every match that Arsenal plays. The thing is that these options are, first of all, not adequate to win Europa League or to finish top 4. We might be able to with this makeshift right back. So, first of all, let's talk about Ainsley Maitland-Niles. He is good going forward. He can cross the ball sometimes. There are some factors जिसकी वजह से I won't pick Ainsley Maitland-Niles. क्योंकि the thing with him is sometimes he is too calm on the ball. जो एक composure है, that is important in a game. पर sometimes he is too complacent. He can lose sight of the game and he lacks that concentration that you need to play for 90 minutes. That is the thing to consider. Or Ainsley Maitland-Niles can be a right back option if he is drilled into that position. But for me, I won't pick Ainsley, which makes me want to consider Carl Jenkinson, who is a bit like Lichtsteiner, but he can go forward. He has a bit more pace than Lichtsteiner, but I won't pick him either for this reason only. He has performed well, but those performances came against Cardiff City or the Ukrainian team in the Europa League or the Armenian team in the Europa League. So we have to consider that as well. So if it was up to me, I would deploy a back three and put Lichtsteiner as the wing back and tell him, don't go forward. Just stick to Sane.
Man mark, like,
Yes,
even if City find little gap, they will exploit it to the pitch.
definitely. Let's move on to the next question. So our next question is regarding our favorite manager, Jose Mourinho. We are saying this sarcastically. The question regarding him comes from a BBC article जहाँ पे Guillaume Balaguer says, actually Guillaume asked, have Mourinho's tactics been outdated? He has been in the game for
20 years.
Yes.
I mean, if you mix his tenure as assistant manager.
Yeah. So he had been in this game for a long time, and this question do arise कि have his tactics been outdated?
अगर एक लाइन में मैं इस चीज को बोलूं, तो मैं ये बोलूंगा कि over the time, a manager should try his best to take over football.
Yeah.
But I guess football has taken over Jose Mourinho. Yes, because the thing is, the times have changed. Tactics are very much more complex and expensive. Like for example, when he first came at Chelsea,
Yeah.
he had that park the bus
Strategy. Yes. Tactics.
strategy particularly used.
Yeah.
So at that time, he got the players he wanted to suit that formation. Like for example, John Terry, Carvalho,
Yeah.
and for counter attack, Didier Drogba. So basically ऐसा था कि जब Mourinho first time आया था Chelsea,
Yeah.
तो उसके पास भी park the bus strategy वो use करता है basically.
The famed strategy of Jose Mourinho.
So at that time, he got the player
Yeah.
according to that formation. जैसे कि जॉन टेरी, विलियम कार्वेलियो, and during counter attacks he has the pace and power of Didier Drogba.
Good point. That's a really good point.
But now if we see the centre backs we see today are not the types of traditional centre backs anymore. Like
That's true.
For example, जैसे कि है Virgil van Dijk
Yeah.
and Andreas Christensen, Laporte and all.
They're more of a footballer than a defender. जो एक traditional defender था. That is what you're trying to say.
Yes, they are basically ball playing centre backs.
Yeah.
Like in Barca also, when the Guardiola tic-tac was successful, I have no idea about Carlos Puyol, but Carlos Piqué was also Piqué is also a ball playing defender.
Definitely.
He controls the ball. So the things are, he cannot find centre backs like that today. And even if he finds some amazing centre back, like for example, अगर United में मान लो Virgil van Dijk आ जाता, तो उसकी गेम अच्छी नहीं हो पाती अगर Mourinho उसको फोर्स करता है कि you have to just defend, because he is a Dutch player, and a Dutch, even if you see a Dutch centre back, he likes to play with the ball, and occasionally he lunges forward.
Yes.
That's the thing.
So your final comment would be?
So the final comment is, yes, football has taken over Mourinho, and though he is very much ego now, like I can still manage a big club and all, but honestly he cannot. I mean, he can win a trophy or two for a year, but after that he will be in a destructive mode, as you know.
Very efficient work. So let's conclude today's episode. Thank you for joining in. It means a lot to us, and thank you. Bye bye.